Thank you for staying with us. Now, from COVID-19 pandemic to the widespread cholera epidemic, Nigeria is buffeted by two contagions while its doctors are on strike. According to the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, the country has recorded 37,819 suspected cases of cholera. Just digest that. 37,819 suspected cases of cholera and 1,178 deaths in 23 states and the FCT. As of the 14th of August, the NCDC Director General, Dr. Chike Inyodze, said of the reported cases, 26% were the age of 5 to 14, while 51% were males and 49% females. Babajide, cholera, I don't understand this. While we are busy fighting COVID-19, the Delta variant ravaging us, now cholera. And with this figure I'm getting, it seems this cholera seems to be deadlier and killing people more.
Ordinarily, we shouldn't be hearing of deaths of people so high as more than 1,000. Cholera shouldn't ravage our country so much that up to 23 states will be suffering from it. More than 1,000 deaths. About sometime last week, it was still 816. Now we had the latest update from the NCDC indicating that we have lost more than 1,100 people to cholera. Normally, these are preventable diseases.
Honestly.
Diseases that we can avoid.
Associated with extreme poverty.
Because of our poor sanitary nature, we have this problem. In the year 2019, I think October 2019, President Buhari signed the Executive Order 009, and it was designed to ensure that by the year 2025, Nigeria had fully defeated the issue of open defecation. Because this is a water-borne disease. But when people pass feces, that the bacteria benefits from it, and then if it touches the food that you are about to eat or even your water, then you get infected. Right now, Nigeria has overtaken India as the world's #1 when it comes to open defecation. And how we can overtake India is something that I find extremely strange, because I was looking at some figures.
The population of India.
Now, and the size. The Indian population is 1.3 billion. The Nigerian population is just 200 million. Now, the size of India is 3.287 square kilometers. Whereas the size of Nigeria is 923,769 square kilometers. Yet this is a country that we have overtaken.
How?
It just shows that we have a big problem with open defecation. We have not been able to address it. When India was #1, they came up with all kinds of plans, methods to defeat this, empowering the private sector to build toilets here and there that people can use. Mr. President, in that executive order, mandates the law enforcement agencies to ensure that all hotels, all public buildings have toilets. The way it is based on the research conducted by the UNICEF, at least 10 million households in Nigeria do not have toilets. They are practicing open defecation. At least 50 million Nigerians defecate in the bush, in the water. Sometimes the water that they drink, people defecate in it. So why won't people have cholera? Then a lot of us buy water from these water vendors, Merua and the rest of them. You don't know the sources of this water, but you drink. You eat at bukaterias, you don't know how the food was prepared, especially vegetables and all that. Did they properly cook those meals? And then, of course, look at our drains. Our drains are clogged, they are dirty. Our canals are dirty. The people dump refuse in canals. We don't dispose refuse properly. All of these things, and given our usually crowded cities and slums, all of these things ensure that cholera thrives. This, in my view, in recent years, is the worst that we have faced. In 2018, we had the serious cholera problem, but it wasn't this bad. Because this one, with the rate at which the figure is rising, I told you that late last week, I was still checking, it was 816. Now it's more than 1,100. So we can't be losing more than 1,000 people to cholera in 1 year. And we're still counting.
And when you look at, it's associated with lack of hygiene, backwardness, and those things that we practice, because I don't know how to classify open defecation. Now, as that, sometimes last week,
people don't have toilets.
Victoria Island, highbrow area, upscale. I went to a building, the building was very close to the lagoon. And I wanted to feel the beauty of the lagoon very close to that building and everything. I just looked down. I just discovered that it was like a mini toilet for these area boys.
You see, it's a crisis that is very complex. Really, really very complex. When you look at water availability in Nigeria, I'm talking about safe water. In most cities in Nigeria, it's a crisis, including here. If you don't sink your borehole, you rely on pure water. In many of the houses where you have what you call face me, face you, there's nothing like that.
I remember.
You get me? You see people moving down with trolleys, or what do you call it, selling water.
Water vendors.
All over. I'm talking about cities. You said cholera is deadlier than coronavirus. It's not true. Coronavirus is mostly the disease of the rich. This one kills poor people most. Ignorant poor people. Yes.
Yeah, that's
you get my point? That's why in advanced countries, what they did is access to safe drinking water, all this other.
Yeah, once you have access to those
so
things,
it's not a problem that is peculiar to us. But it's peculiar to us now because we have refused to solve the underlying issues, the underlying problems.
Basic.
So now, if in cities, Nigerian cities, anywhere in Nigerian cities, there is problem of water scarcity. You don't have access to safe, Tell me, in which of the states do you hear any governor talking about, I was able to connect so millions to public water? You don't get it in their budget. They don't talk about it. So these are crises. The biggest problems is about water. So when you're not talking about other sanitation, like, do you know that the kind of toilet facilities some houses have today? Fella's song that the qualification of that's what you see in many houses, even in the cities. So now, when you look at where these problems are prevalent, you see that open defecation is like the culture. You get me? There's in the north, you see people all over the road selling water in trolleys, in trucks. You get it? So this water, how clean, how safe they are, nobody knows. So when we now talk about cholera, we are reaping the fruits of what we do.
I don't want us to go to the villages and in suburban area yet. I want to even talk about the so-called developed cities. Yeah. There was a time me and my director of news, we went to Ekpetedo to actually, do some news stories and everything. And she said she wanted to, visit the bedroom. And lo and behold, we started asking people, sorry, this lady wants to visit. And it took us like 30 minutes before we could identify a pit toilet. As in, they were all looking at us as if we were asking for something strange. In Lagos.
They defecate in the water. Although in this whole thing, Lagos has managed to escape these deaths. But it doesn't mean that it may not come. At the rate it's going, Lagos needs to do something. You see people lined up. There's a picture that I had. I wanted to give it to the producer. But because this is a running story, maybe another time I'll give it. These boys lined up. There was this drainage that Fashola constructed. And these boys just sat, they were just defecating. They were on a row. If you are my friend on Facebook, you will have seen that picture. They were on a row. They just lined up like that, as if choreographed. As if they planned it. Everybody was defecating, some of them with their Igbo. They were just defecating, right? A good drainage, clean, aesthetically perfect. These boys were just defecating and messing up the place.
City.
Yes, in broad daylight.
Yes.
Our people have no shame. In broad daylight, they remove their trousers and they start defecating.
For somebody to do like that, he's under the influence of.
I don't know.
Not all of them.
Then the kind of you can be pressed and hold it, but it is only when it is not watery stool that has pressed you.
Yes, but
if it is watery stool that has pressed you, if you are on the highway and they told you that Boko Haram, they are around that place, you will still beg that they should let you come down. And you prefer toilet, as if there is anything like toilet. You are using toilet like as a verb.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to itemize 3 points regarding this issue of open defecation.
All right.
Cholera and all that.
Yes.
Okay, the major issue I see is that the state government has left the local government to be not effective, because all these issues of rural development is the function of the local government, which most of the local governments are just like a department of the state. But if you look at the constitution, which I know, is that the local government is supposed to be independent to some extent. The local government are not effective. When I was serving in a rural community in Abia State, I was in health and environmental CDS. I visited a lot of local to collect a lot of data. I saw a lot of wonders. And the second one is that the government are not paying attention to this cholera because it's the disease of the poor. Yes. NCDC, their job is not only to report cases, but to also try to check up the state government to participate, because this issue is in the residual list. So the issue of the health of the state is really a problem, because frankly speaking, state governments are not doing enough to combat this issue of open defecation, poor drinking water, and all that. So I think state government have to wake up.
Let me ask you a question. But the FCT is one of the worst hit. So who do we blame for that?
The problem is that, I actually cannot say too far, but the problem is that, the FCT, they have their own administration. Is it the FCTA? Territorial administration. They have their own. So there is a problem. There has to be a systemic problem, because the federal government is saturated with issues. It's not everything has to be federal government. This has to be the state. The FCT has the way they work, despite the fact that they are capital territory. They have the ministers, they have the municipal area council, they have all that. And of course, in fact, generally in Nigeria, the issue of water, potable water, is not available in most places in Nigeria, except in major urban settings.
Thank you for your contribution. I think it's still what it is, because when you start looking at facts, figures, the statistics, and you start looking at the way we've been doing this thing, and maybe government is paying attention to it. I don't think so.
Even if they are paying attention, they can't see the strategy.
Let me be honest with you. The governments at the state level, they are the ones that have the bulk. I mean, they are the ones that actually tackle this problem. But they are not doing enough.
Don't expect the federal government to start building
it's not
public toilets.
It's not. Apart from public toilets, the root of it is access to safe. Where is the water? In 2010, do you know we had crisis bigger than this? Cholera crisis bigger than this. You get my point? In 1991, we had more than 7,000 people that died as a result of cholera.
I know that 1971. I remember.
That's the worst in our history. Since 1971, when we started having this problem in Nigeria. So it has been a big issue. You don't see one state government, talking about how many people it has been able to put on public water. The safest water anywhere is the one, the public water. But you don't have it. The governors want to privatize it. Where you have a little, they want to privatize it, they want to make money from it. Whereas in western region of those days, it's the Yoruba land. Jide can attest to it. You will see water, they will erect in the open all over the place. Now, when you're not talking about public toilet, even in our public schools, you don't have good toilet. Even in hospitals, you are talking about in marketplaces, except the ones, this Otumba Gaddafi, who now brought this investment.
And stop that.
That's what has reduced the problem in Nigeria. It would have been worse. So we are not being proactive. We are not doing anything to solve this problem. If not this Otumba Gaddafi matter, where do you see? Tell me in any of the cities.
And those one, even the Otumba Gaddafi initiative is not a permanent one.
It's not even a permanent, but it helps. For example, in a market, you can pay 100 naira and take care of yourself.
I have Ade from London.
Yes, good evening. My greeting to everyone on the panel.
Good evening, Ade.
I was watching your TVC, listening to the news, I think today or yesterday, and I was hearing that in those states, the government just enacted a law that all revenue of the local government should be paid to one account. Then the government will now be sharing it to each local government. There's an idea of every local government. How can such a local government perform? That's one example. The state government, the normal revenue is collected in each local government. They put it to one account. Then you will now share it to them. How do you want that local government to perform?
We can't really verify that.
We can't verify that. We can't verify
that. The people who are the houseboy of the
we can't verify that. These days there are so many things that we
I'm sure
there was something
if
that
I look for that package, if I look for that story, I'm sure it's not about it might not be.
It was said that Lai Mohammed had snaked to go and do a meeting with Twitter people. And Nigerians will read this thing, they just believe, because social media is brimming with all kinds of individuals. Lies. So people promote lies.
Somebody went through the airport, we went through the checks.
How about you want
to fly a private jet? He flew a commercial line. So how do you now use that word snaked?
He even said that it is not good here to do meeting with them. People just come up with lies. So these days, everything we read, we must first verify. And that's why, once you are committed to the truth, you say, okay, let's be sure that this is truth. People will hate you. That's the way we are. But let's be committed to the truth. The truth shall set us free. You can't be just like that story. Now, if we investigate now, we'll discover that it's true. Because I don't see how
will wake up in the morning
and say this is what should be done. I mean,
Olusegun Oke is calling us from Lagos.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, Shegun.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Shegun.
Yeah, good evening.
I greet you.
How are you, my
I greet you. I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Dean. Is that Mr. Dean? Sorry.
No.
I
don't know you too.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, thank you. You are doing a great job, my people. God bless you for the topic. I think I will still employ our government to help us on this cholera before it get out of hand. Honestly, if you go to our railway line early in the morning from Osodi, go down.
That's the toilet.
Yes, you will see people. You will always baffle me.
Railway line.
Railway line. I'm telling you. Go to Osodi, go to everywhere, PWD. That is where our people will go down and toilet.
No toilets.
And be looking at them. There is a popular company along the Lupeju, producer of a drug. If you see them early in the morning, within that place, or even on top of their flower, they will sit there, they will do everything there.
They don't care.
Our manager are not going to get cholera. It's only God that can help us. God bless you.
Thank you. Big markets, for example, if we can't put toilets in those big markets, we can't put enough toilets, because what some women do, they go into their shops, they will open the plastic bag, they will just open it, defecate inside, tie it, and then look for a place, they will just throw it. Like as if you are throwing shot put, they will just throw it. In fact, someone tell me, let me tell you a story of something that happened in Okeani. In Okeani, the woman, after defecating in the plastic bag and tied it, she was just moving gingerly with it so that people will not know that it's actually her excrement that was in the bag. So she saw something that interested her that she wanted to buy. And she was pricing the thing. One boy was just moving towards the woman. She thought that she had money in the bag. She just snatched the bag. So the woman said, well, me hello, he thought it was money that was in the black bag. It was the woman's excrement. Somebody shit inside bag, you snatch them. You think say that money you snatch. You see, that's it.
Even at that level, the big markets, it's the responsibility of government to make sure that they have
and get the private sector to do it. You know, their survey showed that only 11 local government out of 774 did not, do not suffer from open defecation. That open defecation is practiced in all our local government except 11. So I'm already imagining maybe some of our highbrow local governments, you know, the best of the best. Those are the 11. I'm interested in knowing those 11. Just 11 local governments out of 774. Everywhere we are practicing open defecation. It's just, it's terrible.
That's the solution.
Then when you talk about refuse disposal system, all the cities in Nigeria, they've not got it right. We've tried in Lagos, but there is still a lot that we can do. Do you know there are some parts of Lagos that you still see? I say, why? You
we have too many slums.
Openly throwing their
waste let me
out.
When you go to command area, the state government deemed it fit. They done a very good road, dualized the road. But in the morning, when you are passing that place, they are there. They are watching me now. So their next, where they used to throw their refuse is just in between that beautiful road.
The median.
So PSP2 will come and park in between the motor road.
And the moment
it will go for like 2 kilometers.
And the moment the PSP park, the PSP people park
animals.
And the moment the PSP people park it and they are going, another people are dropping.
That is their permanent.
So you realize that. So you now wonder what's wrong with Nigerians. We too, we are part of the problem.
No, the road median shouldn't be, although it was originally designed like that, for them to come take those litters instead of using these boys, the cart pushers, because the cart pushers will dump refuse wherever they like. But what government needs to perfect is for these bins to be evacuated from house to house. All those paying house to house, medians, it's a lot better now. It used to be worse than that in many parts of Lagos. It's a lot better now, you know, because once you are paying, there is a PSP operator assigned to your locality. That one will come from house to house. They will pack your waste.
But it is not compulsory. Some houses are not paying.
Okay, that's another topic entirely. We'll go for this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. So